Hi friends, so now in this third video, I got a little more detail about mental models and blind spots. Mental models, like I was talking in the previous video, like I was saying in the previous video, have built-in blind spots. And these blind spots are a result of assumptions. Like George Box said, all models are wrong, but some are useful. What does it mean by that? So a model by definition is trying to approximate reality, and it does so by assumptions. Now, the physiological blind spot that you have in your left and right eye, right? So they don't, how the brain overcomes those blind spots is, these are very small spots, and those are the places where there's no image formed, but the brain fills in. Okay. And similarly, there can be a lot of areas where you're blind to, where you may not have knowledge, you may not have adequate information, or you may be looking at it from the wrong perspective, but your brain fills in those missing areas and creates an image. So neuroscience today says that the brain is not an analytical tool, which may come as a surprise to you. Neuroscience says the brain is actually a survival tool. So the brain creates a version of reality that is useful for your survival. And therefore, we all don't live in the same world. We all live in our own worlds, a world of our own creation. And it's created by our own brains, our mind. So, and in that world, things happen in a particular way. In that world, there are certain cause and effect relationships. They always play out that way because that's the way we see the world that we have created. So these assumptions can be right or wrong. Right? Sometimes they're a little bit wrong, sometimes they're very wrong. So depending on the quality of your assumptions, which determines the quality or the effectiveness of your mental model. You may be making very good decisions, average decisions, poor decisions, or wrong decisions. Maybe sometimes, maybe on a consistent basis, right? So what is our objective here? Why are we talking about this? Our objective is to make better decisions, make more informed decisions, make more high quality decisions, but also to avoid making wrong decisions. So when you're driving and you have blind spots, what is the first thing that you need to know to avoid accidents? You need to know where these blind spots are. And also you need to get in the habit of turning your head back and compensating for the loss of information in those blind spots before you make a turn, before you overtake, before you make a lane change. Or many cars these days, and it's almost been, maybe 10, 15 years, there are cars that have blind spot indicators. So when a car enters your blind spot, it lets you know that there is something in your blind spot. So what's the first thing? The first thing is to be able to identify the blind spot and also to know when you have entered a blind spot or something has entered your blind spot. So that helps you avoid making wrong decisions. Similarly, when we're talking about cognitive blind spots, there may be large areas where you have major gaps in your knowledge, wrong and faulty assumptions, or maybe there's some things that you just it's something that you just don't understand. So first thing is to know that you're now operating in the area of your blind spot. Only then can you do something about it. And then you have to somehow neutralize these blind spots, okay? So that you can improve the quality of your decisions and avoid making wrong decisions. So in the coming videos, I'll go into a little more detail, give you some ideas, give you some pointers on how to identify these blind spots and how to overcome them. Talk to you soon.